Good morning, Dr. Bearden. Good morning, fellow classmates. If you guys do get a chance to watch this video. This was an interesting mandala to do. And Dr. Bearden, I've done some mandalas in your classes. But to identify a spiritual connection or slash religious one was a struggle for me. And I believe that you can understand where I'm coming from, Dr. Bearden, based off of my military background and the things that I have seen and done, and the evil that's in this world that I would wish upon nobody. But nevertheless, it's there, and I think prior to starting this program, I struggled to maintain that balance of my religious background, and the spiritual life that I once possessed, I guess, or once lived by. Grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist. My father is a pastor, has his own church in Southern California, and was really strict in my family growing up. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, it was nothing but the Lord. And obviously throughout the week, even not on the holy day, throughout the week, it was praying and constant giving thanks for what we have, and just the lifestyle that I lived. And after I joined the military, and then 9/11 happened, and we went to combat, and I think I questioned a lot of my faith, questioned Jesus and God and the purpose behind that, and I wouldn't say it spiraled me down a bad path, but it definitely had me view things differently. And after starting this program, I wouldn't even say starting at George Fox, but I think it really took off while I was at George Fox. But I started opening my mind, and I started feeling a little bit better about things, and which brings me to our mandala for this class. So basically, I just took the symbol for Seventh-day Adventist, and I also have the symbol for George Fox, because I feel that growing up, my life was surrounded by Seventh-day Adventists and the religious aspect of it. But I tried to live my life the best that I could during that time frame. But when I went to combat, and I have these little illustrated pictures of the things that really were hard for me to deal with. So the first one is just being in a combat situation where we're in a firefight, and where the enemy is doing everything they can to kill us, and all we want to do is help. So it was a struggle to understand that, and the reason behind their thinking. We had to do what we had to do there to survive. We had to follow orders, because if we did not, people would die. And it was hard. And this picture over here is of a blown up. Actually, it's my Humvee that actually got blown up. I was in one of your other classes. It was the Jungian one, and we did the clays, and I made a Humvee out of the clay sculptures, and it showed the fire and stuff. And then I had a helicopter a medevac is what we call it. But when I got blown up, when the Humvee got blown up, I was knocked out. I was immediately knocked out, and the next thing I knew, I was recovered in the we call it an aid station, but it's kind of like the ER. And but yeah, it was hard. It was hard to understand why God would allow this to happen to people, and therefore my religious started going away. And it mostly went away after I lost my best friend in Iraq. He got blown up. Well, his entire squad got blown up in a house, um, and that actually could have been me because we had an argument that morning on whose turn was it to go out, and we were. I mean, I don't know if it was an argument or not, but it's my turn. No, it's my turn. But because we were always in competition of trying to see who can get the most patrols in. Anyway, it was his turn. He won the discussion, and he didn't make it. His whole squad didn't make it. In fact, that's them being transported back to the United States, which is this one right here. Zoom in right here. So, there's the first one I was talking about, being in a firefight, and there's the vehicle explosion, and then there's the buddies getting sent home by the air. Well, they're being transported by the Air Force, but back home to the States. And so after, losing, my buddy, good guy, very good guy, get his shirt off his back for you. And I don't believe he deserved to die. I don't believe he should have gone. He just had a baby. He just got married. But, as I say, God works in mysterious ways, and it was rough, and I completely lost my faith, and I just constantly questioned, why God? Why do you allow such evil, atrocity, just horrible, horrific shit to happen in combat? I get it, it's combat, so crazy shit happened, but if you've never been, you'll never know. And the TV doesn't ever show what really goes on there. The news is full of crap, and I've seen it, and I've seen what it done. But anyway, after joining George Fox, really, it started shedding some light, talking to people, fellow classmates, hearing a lot of your lectures, Dr. Bearden, and it's made me come to the realization that there is hope. There is that spiritual perspective on life, and where you can find a connection with something that is better than you, for the purpose of something greater. And I believe that being in this program has really opened my eyes to that. So that's what this little, coming from dark to light picture of the sun, sunset and sunrise. It's just showing from darkness to light, having that mentality of doing the right thing, trying to be a better person, not only for yourself, but for everybody else that you surround yourself with. But so for me, the meaning of spirituality is focusing on the focus of myself, and more on it's minimizing the focus of myself, and then and more on the connection of the things that are beyond just my personal self, whether it's my family, whether it's my clients that I'm working with, or this program that I'm in. It's knowing that there's something bigger than me. And for the significant growth that I've experienced throughout this, whether it was a child as a Seventh-day Adventist, or growing up as a Seventh-day Adventist, or as an adult being in combat and losing my faith, and then starting this program, I think, well, I guess the significant loss would be, losing that connection with God, and then the growth would be to come to a realization that despite all the evil that I've seen and witnessed and done, and I can still maintain that connection for a purpose that's greater than myself. I think what affected me mostly throughout my life was probably the losses in combat. I think even when my parents divorced when I was young, I don't believe that. You know, I was only 3, so I don't believe that that really affected me as much, considering that it was so long ago. But I still live like as if I'm in combat, so I still see things in my dreams. I still have flashbacks. So for me, that's the biggest effect on my life, and in regards to the relationship with myself, and but also I think it affects how I view the world and how I view spirituality, and especially since I started this program, I've started to live my life. I don't necessarily have to believe in God, even though I do. I just knowing that I'm living my life the best that I can, and trying to do the right thing for others is good enough for me. When it comes to transcendent and the changes over time, I think, and putting an image to it, I think I really haven't seen any kind of change throughout my life. As when it comes to transcending, I have started to see the true meaning behind it, though, since being in this program, and come to an understanding of the peace that comes with it. And if I just allowing myself to accept and be happy with that, and I think that's the meaning behind it. And I really think that all these changes that I've witnessed and felt is because of George Fox. And because when I first started George Fox, when I went through the interview process, and I had no religious beliefs at that time because of combat. But this program has definitely opened my eyes to the possibilities of love, to the possibilities of spiritual fulfillment, and the glory that I feel by helping others deal with their own trauma, or difficulties, even when their trauma and difficulties are the same as mine. But yeah, thank you, Dr. Burden, for giving me an opportunity to share this experience with you and the classmates as well. I hope everybody else has a wonderful day. Thank you.